Off the Record, Radio Northern Beaches live on a Thursday night. Just because a record has a groove doesn't make it in the groove. Stevie Wonder, how good is that, eh? Sir Duke. I don't really read much other than the sport in the papers these days because, you know, there's not much good news going around and, you know, politics is just forget about politics altogether. But a very interesting article came into my hands only last week, and I thought I might read it to you before I do what I'm going to do here live tonight. For the first time, business mums can attend a networking event during the day with their children. Now, after listening to feedback, Deanna Holwerder from Northern Beaches Mum Entrepreneurs is holding the event on February 11th at the DYRSL, yeah, good old downtown DYRSL, from 10 a.m. till noon on the 11th of February. Now, she says that some people can't attend our events, our evening events, so this year we decided to try new things. It's about getting mums out of the house so they can speak with like-minded women. Now, she says we still hold our evening events, but if this goes well, which I'm sure it will, daytime events will be on the cards more often. Now, Mums Entrepreneurs offers mutual support and information sharing between mums wanting to grow their own business. Now, I'd probably say it must be to grow their own business at home. Now, Deanna said mothers working from home had different challenges to other businesses. You can say that again. We've developed a network to help mums thrive, she says. Children up to 5 are welcome to attend, and a nanny service is included. This means mums can keep an eye on their kids but also get the opportunity to connect with mums who are doing the very same thing, work and try to juggle life in general. Now, the cost is $59. It'll be $10 discounted for a Mum Entrepreneurs member. And I am very, very pleased to say that the lady in question is with me this evening tonight on Off the Record. Deanna Holwerder, good evening and welcome to Off the Record.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Pino. Appreciate it.
Now, I admire people like you because you have 2 beautiful kids and a husband. So you've got your hands full already. So tell me how all this came about.
Well, I started my own business, PA on the Go, which is virtual office support, after I've had my son, my first child, and I was offered some data entry for one of my previous employer, and they said instead of putting me on as an employee that I had to be a subcontractor. So as soon as I registered for my ABN, I then got quite excited because within a week I had my own business cards and I had my website, and that's how the ball started rolling, really. And since then, I started up another business called Marketing for Mums, which is focusing on online marketing for small businesses. And in that whole process, I realized that I was missing the connection with other mums who work from home or have their own business. The mothers group just doesn't do it for me. I need to talk a bit more about other things. And I ended up meeting a lady on Facebook, and she was just around the corner from me, and we set up Mum Entrepreneurs like that.
How many of you is there? There's only one Deanna, though, isn't there? How do you do it? Do you find it exhausting or not? Because I'm looking at you tonight under the spotlights, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, she's bright as a spark. You look like you've been on holidays. You don't look... I'd imagine that someone would be stressed out sometimes with these events, but you're always very, very happy-go-lucky. I mean, you're very relaxed tonight, and obviously you must love what you do.
I do. I don't think I could ever go back to a full-time role working for somebody else. I love what I do, and it works perfect for my family. So if there's something wrong with the kids, I can drop my work. Yes, it does mean less income, but that's the way it is, and I'm happy to be there for my kids. And, you know, my husband is very supportive of that. I mean, there are days where he's like, oh, Mum Entrepreneurs again, but he's very supportive, and he loves what I do. He's very proud.
Well, we're going to keep the music rolling, Deanna, on your take on that, because I like to hear good things about husbands as well, you know. Could you tell me what is exactly your daily routine? because you was throwing all these things at me before, and I was getting tired just listening to you. Not listening to you, but tired of what you do. I mean, how does your day start? And then tell me exactly how it sort of wraps up with these functions that you do with the mums.
Okay, so I guess I've got to sort of explain that Pia on the Go is my main business. And that's what I focus on every single day. So that has priority over everything. So obviously I drop off my husband to work. The kids are both now in school. So now I actually have every day I can focus on work with mum entrepreneurs because it's a monthly event. We don't do it more often than that. So I don't actually need to focus so much on the actual event until we get closer to the actual date of the event. So usually about 2 weeks beforehand, I'll start building it up on social media and I'll start promoting it. And like with this one, because it's quite special, it's our first day event. It's mums bringing in their kids, which we've never done before. So I've actually contacted the local newspaper. We've got the article into the Manly Daily. I'm doing an interview with you tonight. I did an interview with Ian Nicholas last week here. So doing all that is trying to get more attention to this specific event. That's obviously a little bit more time consuming, where the normal events, when we let's say it's more a business related speaker we have. So let's say we're talking about how to increase the ranking of your website or how to use social media for your business. Unless it's a high profile speaker, I won't do as much promoting as I am today. So I can tailor it. So like I said, I've been quite busy with mum entrepreneurs leading up to this event, but normally I won't spend that much time on actually promoting. We also send invitations out, and that's all via email, to all the previous people who've attended. We have over 1,000 people now part of the group. We have close to 500 members, which we only started last year, actual paid members. And we have now also expanded to other areas. So I'm Northern Beaches. My business partner has moved up to the central west. So she's up in Orange. Then we have another lady who started up on the Central Coast. We've got another lady who started up in eastern suburbs. We've got Hawkesbury River. One in Melbourne, but they're still, it takes time obviously to build up a network group. And then we've got somebody else who's thinking about starting up North Shore for us. So all that stuff is happening at the same time. I'm still trying to run the events here on the Northern Beaches, which is it's the biggest group, obviously. This is where mum entrepreneurs originated from.
And tell me about the event that's coming up, the one that we're all going to be talking about very shortly.
So this is our first Mums and Bubs in business. And so we got very lucky that with the DYRSL, they have a beautiful venue, a beautiful room where the mums can actually network separately from the children. So the children will be still in the same room, but there will be a divider in between. And we have a nanny service called Precious Peeps, and they will be looking after the kids. So the unique part of this is that we've never had children in our network events at all, because we've always done it at night when the kids are asleep or when the husbands or the partners are at home, where this time we're focusing on the mums who can't make it to the evening events, who don't have the support at night for whatever reason, and who have young children trying to get out of the house. It's quite hard, because when I first started out, I would go to my mother's group and I really had nothing in common anymore, because here I am excited that I got my business card in the mail, and these other women would look at me, oh yeah, that's great. But hey, I started a new job, or they had a very different life. I think once you become a business owner, everything evolves. It's sort of my third child, really. A lot of my attention goes to my business. And I also like to say sometimes that if it hadn't been my own business, I would have found something else, because I cannot stay between four walls. I'm not one of those mums who is very crafty. I love my kids, but I like to get out of the house and do things, spend some time away from them and my husband, and get my mind, active and do things and learn new things. So when I go and work for myself and work with clients, I learn new things every single day. And that's what motivates me. That's what gets me up in the morning and gets me all excited and thinking, oh, we can do this today, or let's come up with a new marketing campaign. And that's what I'm passionate about. And I didn't know until I had my first child and somebody gave me that opportunity. That was this whole new world, and I love it. I would never go back to being a full-timer for anybody. No.
You were saying earlier that you do them during the day because we used to do them at night when the kids were asleep.
We still do.
You still do?
Yeah.
When do you actually go to sleep?
I used to be pretty bad. I would. I think I burned myself out about 2 years ago, where I would go to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning, and get up with the kids like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and obviously didn't get enough sleep. I also learned that when you work at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not very productive anymore. You're actually wasting a lot of your time. So now I tend to actually work during the day. Last year when I had my daughter still at home with me, I would work around her. So we would go to the playground or we would go to a play centre. I would bring my laptop with me. And we would have, that's technology nowadays. We have Wi-Fi on our mobiles, there's Wi-Fi in the play centres, and you make it work, and sometimes you have to say to the client, look, it's taken a little bit longer, I'll have it for you tonight, or I'll do it tomorrow morning. And usually I have wonderful clients. They're very supportive and very understanding, and they know that I have children, and that's how it works sometimes.
Your motivational levels are unbelievable because I have motivational levels, but not so much for work. I'm in the company tonight, listeners, of Deanna Holwerder, and she is the lady herself. She's the entrepreneur of a great event that's coming up and we've been speaking to about tonight. Deanna, it's something that, were you surprised when you got into this type of field? I mean, 10 years ago, would you have been shocked to hear where you are at the moment with all this business activity going on?
Oh, definitely. Yes. I mean,
but were you motivated then, though? This is the question.
My motivation, like I said, if I didn't have my kids, I don't think it would have ever popped up. I would have stayed in corporate. That's where I came from. And back home in the Netherlands, I actually did a marketing and management diploma. And part of that diploma was to set up your own business. And we learned how to do a business plan and all that. I decided that's not what I wanted to do. And I steered completely away from it. And I focused much more on the marketing side, which I still now actually comes back after all those years that I actually enjoy that. Part of my business, Pino on the Go, the part that I really, really enjoy is the online marketing of a small business. So using social media and newsletters and websites and all that. But if you had asked me 10 years ago, do you think you would be running multiple businesses? Definitely not. No. And actually running Mum Entrepreneurs has given me a lot more confidence about standing in front of a group of women. Like, we'll have 40 to 50 women sometimes. And here I am standing, talking in front of them. And I was never very good at public speaking. I was terrible. And especially not in a different language. And yeah, I'd say it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me, apart from kids and getting married and all that stuff. I love it.
Well, I've got to paint the picture for the listeners. You are just sitting there nicely relaxed like you're watching TV at home on the lounge. You've sort of leaned back. You're leaning on one side. Every now and then you lean on the other. And you are just so natural. And I know I said to your husband, I said, she must do a lot of speaking. He goes, oh, my God, she's just unbelievable. She'll go on. And she knows what she's talking about, though, which is very important. And you said off air that you thought sometimes I tend to carry on a bit, but it's very interesting what you're talking about. Very, very interesting, because it's not a topic really that we seem to really, we don't even know a lot of these things. We didn't know that this existed, that you could do this type of thing.
Yeah. Same for me. I didn't realize either. I mean, the concept of running your own business always seemed too hard and too messy, and you wear too many hats. And because I used to work for a small business owner, that's what was that was my last role. Working full time, I worked for a small business owner, and I thought it's too much headache. I don't like this. And then somehow I ended up becoming a small business owner. And like I said, I don't think I could ever go back because I'm in charge of what I do. I can actually say no to a client. I mean, that probably will never happen. But if the occasion rises, then I can say, look, this is not suitable to my business. I don't think it's going to work. I can say no. One of the things I learned was an expression that you can actually fire a client. I said, what do you mean you can fire a client? Well, they said, well, you can walk away. You can say, I no longer want to work with you. Now, obviously, if you work in the corporate world or any full-time role, that's a lot harder. You don't walk away from your job like that, where I can do that with my client. I mean, I love working with my clients. There's nobody that on my client base that I would not work with. I really enjoy it. In fact, some of my clients become actually friends. Sorry, see, there you go. I've drifted off.
You haven't drifted off because it's you know.
I do have a bit of a mummy brain, though.
I love it. I love it. But you know what I was thinking? Just towards the middle of your little conversation there, your little interpretation of exactly what you do. You know, it's funny how things happen in life, isn't it? I mean, like you could have 10 years ago and maybe even 5 years ago, you didn't even realise that you probably would have taken this direction until you had your children.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain moments in life, and they define you. So actually becoming a mother has made me tougher. It's made me more confident. It's made me more assertive. All those things I probably would have never been if I hadn't become a mother, because suddenly now I've got to stand up for these two kids who don't have really a voice. Except for myself and my husband. And that makes you probably stronger and makes you stand up for them instead of backing down if it was myself. And now that I run these businesses, that also comes with, you build up a credibility. You build up this area of expertise and people respect that. People go, wow, you've been in business for 6 years. Wow. They go, okay, so what have you done? This, that, you've worked with these people. And it gives you, especially becoming a mum has changed my life, obviously, completely. And I probably lost a bit of confidence as a woman and actually working in any kind of role, and then doing this has brought that confidence back up. I've taught myself how to do things. I've learned how to create newsletters, how to create websites, and how to write blogs, and I'm actually in the process of writing my own book. Shouldn't say that, it's a secret, but anyway. So all these things have, it's completely changed me. And like I said, I'd love to inspire any mum out there and say, give it a go, because I'm a service-based business. So I set up my business with zero investment, and there's nothing stopping other women from doing it.
Well, I can say, Diana, for a fact that if there's anyone listening tonight, they would be definitely motivated, because I'm feeling a lot better than I did when you first came in. It's motivation's incredible, though, isn't it? The power of the mind.
It is.
And you obviously do all these things, and then you even slipped that you were in the process of very shortly maybe writing something rather special again. Yeah. But with the time, people just don't seem to find the time because they don't want to have the time because there's no motivation. But you are just leaping forward with everything, aren't you? And sometimes we are our biggest enemy, obviously. We are the ones who are holding ourselves back. So there are times when I'm like, why can't I do this? Why can't I get this done? And then somebody recently said to me, but what have you actually accomplished? So you look back at what you have done, and I'm like, oh, wow, I actually I can tick that off my list. I did do that, and I did do that. So you've got to
keep thinking positive in no matter what. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest lessons. And I've, I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but in my my marriage, we've gone up and down a lot, and having my business there has kept us afloat. It's kept myself sane. It's probably I don't know how you want to say it sometimes, but it's probably prevented me from walking away and doing silly things. It's kept me on a straight path, and I would never probably leave it now because I so enjoy it. Yeah, and even it's inspired my kids. Like my son will say, I ask him what he wants to do sometime, when he grows up, and he says, "Oh, I want to be like you, Mama." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I want to work from home on the laptop."
Yeah, he's got it right, hasn't he? He's got it right.
I think that's where we're all going to go one day. We're all going to be freelancers, and we're going to work from wherever we would like to. A lot of big corporations are already cutting down on their staff and turning them into contractors.
Yeah. Could you just recap on exactly where we can get tickets and a little bit more?
Yeah. Okay. So it's for mums with their children. The children, up to 3 children you can bring, an age range between 0 to 5 years old. And you don't obviously have to bring your children if they're in school, but it's a day event. This is going to be a trial. We're going to see if there's enough interest, and if there is, then we're going to start doing them more often. It's at the DYRSL. It's on next Wednesday, the 11th of February, from 10 a.m. till noon. There's plenty of parking available. The tickets are $59. You can get them through www.mumentrepreneurs.com.au, and you just click on the tab events and then go to Northern Beaches, and there you will find all the details about the event. As you are bringing your children, we will have a nanny service called Precious Peeps, and they will be looking after your kids, and you get to enjoy a cup of coffee and some beautiful morning tea.
How's your Italian? Because I reckon I could pack up my bat and ball and go home. I reckon you could do the Italian
Buenas
show.
noches.
Well, yeah, but it's Spanish, but
Spanish.
You're close. I reckon I could pack it all up and just go, and you can take over Italian Mia tonight. What do you think?
It's up to you.
You're willing. I can't believe it. Now, Diana is, of course, Mum Entrepreneurs, and she offers mutual support and information sharing between mums wanting to grow their own business at home.
That's right.
And that is, in a nutshell, isn't it? It's,
Yes.
it's a very, what you do is just so important. It really is. But I also wanted to pay a little compliment to Monique and Matteo in the newspaper clipping that I saw. Beautiful kids. I mean, beautiful mum, great father, good-looking guy. You could shave every now and then, but he's okay. He's all right. But look, I wanted to congratulate you so much, and I wish success upon success for you and your family.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's very nice.
I'm going to leave the last word with you because I think you're certainly not lost for words, and Italia Mia is coming up very, very shortly. I need to put on my Italian shirt, and I need to thank you again for sharing part of your evening with me to be here tonight, and also, above all, very important how a father can look after the 2 kids tonight. Ivan, thank you very much for letting your wife, grace our radio station tonight. Diana, it's all yours.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me here tonight, Pino. I really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed tonight. And if you want to come to our event, don't forget www.mumentrepreneurs.com.au. Thank you.